Hello, and thank you for joining me. What I'm going to be doing is really looking for some feedback because I do struggle to a degree with Hearthstone. Um, I currently play a Zoo deck, and let me just pull up the card list here. So run two Soulfires, two Mortal Coils, two Abusive Sergeants, two Argent Squires, two Flame Imps, two Shield Bearers, two Voidwalkers, two Direwolf Alphas, two Knife Jugglers, two Harvest Golems, two Scarlet Crusaders, two Shattered Sun Clerics, a Dark Iron Dwarf, a Defender Argus, a Doomguard, and an Argent Commander. Um, it's a slight variation. The original deck list had two Argent Commanders, no Dark Iron Dwarf, but I switched it to include one because I was discarding too many Argent Commanders to things like Doomguards. We're going to play a couple of ranked games. Currently rank 15, the highest I've been. Sorry, currently rank 16, the highest I've been is rank 15. Yeah, going to play a couple of ranked games, talk through the decisions that I'm going to be making, and my logic behind them, and hopefully then I will be able to get some feedback and work out exactly where I'm going wrong. So on the mulligan, first of all, it's given me a Direwolf Alpha, Scarlet Crusader, Abusive Sergeant, and a Shield Bearer. It looks okay to me. I'd rather have a better one drop though than the Shield Bearer. It's given me things to play on turn 2 and on turn 3. I don't really want to play the Abusive Sergeant without anything to buff, so I'm going to discard those two in the hopes of getting a better one drop, preferably a Flame Imp. That's a Doomguard and a Voidwalker, but to me that doesn't seem too bad.
Ready for action!
So they've come out with a Gold Share Footman. This gives us another Direwolf Alpha. So the only option really I have is to play the Voidwalker. I could have coined, I guess, to a Direwolf Alpha, but that wouldn't have made any sense. There wouldn't have been any gain from that apart from having a 2/2 on the board instead of a 1/3. Crossbolt to destroy that and 1 damage is not, in my book, particularly dangerous. Seems like a bit of a waste of a Frostbolt, to be honest. Okay, so we've drawn a Flame Imp. Now, if I was playing on curve, I would play the Direwolf Alpha, but that could just be destroyed by getting the Goldshire Footman run into it and then Fire Blast. But I do have 2 Direwolf Alpha, so if I was to lose one, it's not the end of the world. However, I guess I could either coin into Scarlet Crusader,
So many
which I don't think is worth it because then the Goldshire Footman will run into it and it'll get pinged by the Fire Blast, and that'll be that dead. Or I could Flame Imp, coin, Direwolf Alpha, which seems to me to be the best move. The Flame Imp, coin, Direwolf Alpha.
Job's done.
Gives that 4 attack and just makes it a rather dangerous looking minion. To me, anyway. Arcane Missiles, there goes my Direwolf Alpha. Didn't hit that Flame Imp though, so it's not the end of the world. But it gets... Oh, he didn't run it into... Ah, that was interesting. Okay, 3 mana, so either Scarlet Crusader or Direwolf Alpha and Argent Squire. It's not great. I'm going to have to run this Flame Imp into the Goldshire Footman to get rid of it. So Direwolf Alpha for it is fairly meaningless. Scarlet Crusader, but then they could just ping the shield off it. And then it gives them 2 mana to play something out of their hand. Direwolf Alpha, Argent Squire would probably be my pick for this.
The light protects me.
Job's done.
And my logic being on if I don't draw into a 4 like a Dark Iron Dwarf or Defender of Argus, then the chances are I'll draw into a 1 and I can use the Scarlet Crusader and the 1 drop. Use my 4 mana next turn.
Yes.
Sure enough, there is my 1. So I will Abusive Sergeant,
Maggot.
and I will give the Argent Squire the extra attack,
I fight.
which we run into Shieldmaster. Then we sacrifice the guy with Alpha in there, and finally bring out the Scarlet Crusader. So 5 mana next turn. Doomguard's going to be the obvious play. In fact, I don't think anything that I draw is going to change that. And only having to discard 1 card for Doomguard is pretty good. Knife Juggler. I would rather not discard the Knife Juggler because it can be quite handy. But to play a Doomguard and only have to discard 1 card is pretty hard to look past. Plus, if I played the Knife Juggler, I would have to Knife Juggler, tap, leave me with 1 mana. I might not even get something I could play. So, Doomguard.
Join or die.
3-1 into the Azure Drake, then the 1-1 into the Azure Drake.
Suffer my wrath.
And then attack for 7. And this gives us board control. I would imagine the mage, if they don't have something, if they only have something that costs 4 mana, they will. Basically been given a free Soulfire. So I guess I will use that before I have any other cards. I'm going to hit them in the face for 4. Then tap into a Harvest Golem. That looks pretty good. Couldn't attack with a Doomguard because he was frozen. But it's still a 5/5, so I would say it's probably quite hard to get rid of. Fireball will do the trick though. And a mirror image. There's just things I don't understand. I don't know why he chose to Fire Blast me in the face rather than Fire Blast the Harvest Golem. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So, I've got a Flame Imp, so I'm going to tap. And that gives me an Abusive Sergeant. And then I'll run the Harvest Golem into that. Play the Flame Imp this turn. I would see the Abusive Sergeant as being pointless this turn because nothing else can attack. Given the +2 to the Harvest Golem would have been pointless because it only needed 2 damage to take that out and it couldn't do anything else. So I'll call it a day there.
They'll never know what hit them.
Right, and now my health is starting to deteriorate quite quickly. There's another mirror image. And this is kind of what worries me. You know, I'm drawing cards that give me plus attack this turn. I don't need plus attack this turn. You know, I just need to get rid of these. A 4/4 on the board is probably worth more to me than just +2 attack. Is a 2/1. Is it worth tapping at 13 life as well? They'd only give me 2, so I could either draw into a Soulfire where I would discard a Mortal Coil, which is useless, an Argent Squire, which is as good as useless. A Shield Bearer would be quite nice, but I don't have a. So would a Voidwalker actually. Guess my chance of drawing into them are probably not that high. terms of damage that I would take, if I tap, that leaves me 11. He could potentially fireball me for another 6, which would leave 5, then hit me with that, which is 4, and then that, which is 1. So, no, because that would leave me in a bit of a dangerous position. So there goes my 3-1. Polymorph for the Dark Iron Dwarf, presumably. 4-4 into that. And I draw Scarlet Crusader. Okay, so run the Remnants for the Damaged Golem into that. I get rid of that. Abusive Sergeant the Sheep. Let's get rid of that. Scarlet Crusader out on the board. And still don't life tap for... Leave me 3. I could then play almost anything. There's 4 cards in my deck I couldn't play. So I would tap here. But then if he has the spell that deals 10 damage, which should be on the next turn, he could ping me and then hit that. What are the chances of him having it? Not too bad, but he's had a card set in his hand since part 3. No, I'll leave it this time. I'll leave it this turn because
Ready for action!
I have board advantage with the minions on the board. Okay. So, obviously played Voidwalker. Would it be better to run the Scarlet Crusader in there and lose the Divine Shield, but keep the minion? No, because they'll just ping it next turn anyway, so I may as well as running that in. Still leaves me the question of tapping. I just don't know if it's worth it. The longer I leave it, the more chance there is of him drawing into his 10 damage spell. I think I've got... yeah. I'm going to go for it. Another taunt.
You shall not pass.
Wasn't really worth the 2 life, to be honest. It does mean that you can't just attack. Yes. Okay. Fire Blast takes off the shield. Frostbolt goes for that, right. Mortal Coil, this is worse than useless to me this turn. I have to tap, otherwise I'm not playing, I'm just dealing 1 damage.
As you command.
So at least that's got a Harvest Golem out. And well, the chances of having a 1-cost minion this turn are probably not that high. Drew into a Flame Strike. I need to tap again. Really, I can't just run with an Argent Squire. I'm going to have to tap in the hope of getting something halfway decent. Shard from Cleric.
The light protects me. We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, 2/2, 3/2 on the board. 7 life. I cannot tap again because then I move right into Fireball range. In fact, to be honest, I'm already in Fireball range. And I'm imagining that's what's happening. So I don't know if I could have done anything different. I really don't. You know, did he just get lucky drawn into the Flame Strike when he did, or... Would it have been better to play Doomguard later rather than discarding the Knife Juggler? Should I not have tapped? Would that really have just been delaying the inevitable? I don't really know. And that, I guess, is the problem. I don't really know. Let's try another one. Let's try one more. And I'll post this to the forum.
Gul'dan versus Uther.
I will fight with honor. Your soul shall be mine.
I'm running Hearthstone Tracker as well, so I can track my my results. What it generally tells me is if it goes long, I'm going to lose. I think I need to get it within the first by turn 8, or I'm dead. Anyway, right, mulligans. I would ditch Scarlet Crusader and keep everything in. I get Knife Juggler. Alright, I think that's pretty good because... And a Flame Imp. Okay. So I would turn 1 Flame Imp, turn 2 Knife Juggler, turn 3, depending on the draw, in one of these. That's my plan of attack going into this anyway. Obviously that could change based on what he plays and what I draw, but... Or do we think it would be better turn 2 to get the taunt up and get a second Divine Shield minion down? Then on turn 3, play the Knife Juggler.
I wonder.
Along with whatever else I draw. Well, this is the way I play it, and I guess this is... I shouldn't try and overcomplicate things or do things I wouldn't normally do. Okay, so his Bluegill Warrior has taken that out. The Knife Juggler, I guess, is kind of risky, but
Put this apple on your head.
I do have 2 of them, so I guess it's not the end of the world. It's still a 3-2 out on turn 2.
The light protects me.
Argent Squire. And Blessing of Light. So I've got a 4-1 to contend with. Right. Best way to deal with a 4-1, I think, is to hope that this pops a shield.
You shall not pass.
Then we have a 50-50 that this just takes it out when I drop this.
The light
Come on.
protects me.
Come on. Yes!
Hey, catch!
And then him in the face with the Knife Juggler. Perfect. That worked out superbly. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Wolf Rider, 3-1 charge, has to go into the taunt. Now, turn 4. I think, playing the 3 and the 1, because that taunt's going to go next turn pretty much regardless. This gives me fresh taunt to hide things behind. It gives me a 3-1 on for the next turn with Divine Shield, and gives me 2 knives to potentially put into this. That's what I'll go for.
Why do you call?
50-50.
For the crusade!
Come on. Beautiful. And then
Catch!
I fight.
around that end. So I know they could have Consecration. I think is 4 mana. I could be wrong, but that would deal 2 damage to everything on the board. So that would lose its shield. That would lose its shield. Knife Juggler would die. That would die. But that would still live. So the board is... yeah, there's Consecration. Pretty much as expected, but it still leaves me with a good number of cards. I can put 2 more out now. If he consecrates again, that's just a wasted turn. So, Dark Iron Dwarf, that gives that 5 attack this turn. And a Flame Imp. And the logic behind my positioning is if I draw Defender of Argus, I can drop that in here and that'll give them taunt. So we deal 5, 6, 7 damage. And that about does it for that turn. We've currently got 4, 7, 8, 9, 12. Silver Champion, that has to hit the taunt. Which kind of strikes me as a bit of a waste of a turn of 2 Silver Champion. Like to deal 1 damage, it seems kind of wasteful. Okay, so things are going fairly well in this game. So we'll die with Alpha in between them. I'll also tap. Mortal Coil is no use just now. 3, 4, 8, 13 damage leaves him on 3. 5, because presumably he's going to attack with a True Silver Champion into the 1-1. Well, 4. 4? Yeah, 4. Because he will attack that, gain 2. Nope. Going for the direwolf off. It still leaves him on 3. Venging Wrath deal 8 damage randomly to my characters. So this could work out okay. And it has. Okay. So we won that one. But did I make any better plays? Or maybe I could have ended it earlier. I don't know. So hopefully you guys get this feedback. This is going to go up on a competitive Hearthstone, and I'll cross-post it to our Hearthstone as well. I'd say any feedback is appreciated. Leave it in the thread, leave it underneath this video. My Twitter links underneath the video in the description. Get me on Twitter. Yeah, I will post a few more videos at some point as well. The subscribe button is going to be up in the top right for anyone that wants to subscribe. I do other things as well as Hearthstone, but Hearthstone right now is probably my biggest passion, and I really do want to get better at it. So any feedback would certainly be very much appreciated. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and especially if you've left feedback, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Take care.